I'd like to welcome everybody to our 215 seminar. Today, we are very fortunate to have with us Andrew Page, who's with Axel Workout. I'm going to do a few housekeeping things for those of you who do not know. You're going to be on mute. Andrew's going to do a demonstration. After the demonstration, we're happy to take some questions, and then there's going to be a slide presentation. And after that, as opposed to interrupting him, we'll also take questions. So if your questions are not being answered right away, I'm not ignoring you, I promise. We're just going to wait to an appropriate break. So with that, Andrew, if you would like to go ahead and tell everybody a little bit about yourself.
Absolutely. Thank you, Wendy. My name is Andrew Page. I am a sports performance coach by trade. So it has actually been the longest standing thing that I've done in my life. I have had a lot of incredible success and the opportunity to meet a lot of really, really wonderful individuals through that trade. I originally grew up in Southwest Virginia, and I'll just kind of take you about, from the very beginning to how we arrived at Axel. So Southwest Virginia, I went to University of Virginia, where I did a work-study program in their Department of Health and Wellness. I became a certified fitness instructor, sports performance coach at the age of 19. I continued to work at the University of Virginia throughout my duration there. After college and graduation, I went to New York City, where I quickly started working for an Olympic training center in Midtown. At that Olympic training center, it happened to be a big mecca for basketball, professional basketball players, soccer, rugby, USA boxing, USA fencing. These are just to name a few of the sports that I worked with. USA Judo was another big one that was there. And so I started working with a variety of professional athletes that came through there as a sports performance coach. And it was an incredible experience. I have had just a wide range of experiences, particularly with the NBA basketball community, and also the EuroLeague basketball community. I have done trainings and educations both internationally and domestically. I've also trained at each one of the major sports science institutes across the U.S. So really well versed. I also have had extensive experience and guidance from the Hospital for Special Surgery Department of Physical Therapy and Orthopedics here in New York and Westchester. Most typically, I was used as a return to sport specialist for NBA players, which means I was working with an NBA player, and they would, after they received an injury, they would then have a procedure done and then come to me, and me and the physical therapist, and then would come in as a tandem group that would be able to work with an athlete there. And so a big part of that work was working with barbells. So barbell are one of the key strength tools that we have in terms of an apparatus. It's important to be able to lift against the barbell because you can push against a fixed apparatus, right? As opposed to a dumbbell that requires more independent movement there. One of the problems, though, is that the barbell that you see in every gym is 7 feet long and 45 pounds. And if you really want to stand it up off the ground where someone can pick it up correctly, then it becomes 65 pounds because you got to put bumper plates on the sides of it. This represents a little bit of an issue, right? Because that much weight represents a really large percentage of a lot of people's body weights, especially if they are new to lifting. So I literally wrote down an idea on a piece of paper to one of my friends who was at Duke MBA, and now my co-founder. His name is Anuj Patel. I said, Anuj, here I have an idea for a barbell that I think is going to improve the functionality of a barbell for a lot of people. And so we went to a machine shop in Brooklyn. We took a piece of aluminum piping. We hollowed out the inside of it, and we slapped 2 pairs of BMX wheels on the outside of it and built it. And we built 20 prototypes, and we started teaching a group fitness class on the rooftop of New York. And it was essentially this same product, this is the production version of it after many years of tooling. But this is what it is a 5 foot long and 11-pound bar. Okay, so, and that ended up being the optimal weight. This wheel on the outside is the same exact size as an Olympic bumper plate. It's actually a little bit larger, so you can just slide a plate on and off the outside of it. And that is the axle. And so, well, I'll get into the story a little bit more, but really what we started to see with this product is it combines 4 key components of common exercise practices and modalities that you would see in a gym. So the first of which is functionality of an Olympic barbell. This is a collar. You can load up to 150 pounds of Olympic plates on the outsides of the bar. So it actually is a great portable tool, and also indoor outdoor because the bar is made of aluminum, plastic, and rubber. ACH plastic, really high grade, really durable. But what it allows you to do is you can do any of your major lifts, right? If you're an athlete, you can do speed related movements. If you're someone who's just learning, you can practice your deadlifting, you can practice your bicep curls and load up to 150 pounds on there. So that is functionality number 1, is that it functions like an Olympic barbell. It does turn over, which is important to recognize. There is a bushing on the end of this that enables it to do that. Number 2 is it also functions like you probably see this amazing, tremendous ab wheel, right? A core training tool that functions really like no other. Because an ab wheel, if you think about it, has just one hand position, and this has really an infinite variety of hand positions based on the kind of muscles that you want to target. So if you're here, you can see that I can do planking exercises from a standing position. I can do upper body exercises from a push position. I can also drop down to a knee, be able to do rolling exercises this way, like you might traditionally see, even with one hand. So it's probably one of the best rolling tools that's out there on the market. So thus far, we have barbell and we have ab wheel. And we also make different accessories for it. These are foot straps. We also have a different variety, of which is a hard foot anchor that's right here. But I will demonstrate the straps. They have the same functionality. Some people just prefer one versus the other. That is the one that comes in our bundled package that we sell most commonly on e-commerce. And what this does is this enables the bar to behave more like a suspension trainer. A suspension trainer, if you're not familiar with the gym market, that means a TRX or something similar where you can drop your toes or your heels into to perform different core exercises. So for example, here, I'm going to drop my heels into the bar just so you guys can see, to be able to do different pulling, bridging exercises. This exercise in particular that I'm doing right now actually demonstrates a 20% greater recruitment on the biceps femoris, which is a long base of the hamstring on the back side of the leg. What it's really good for is rehabilitating athlete injuries, things to the posterior chain, things to calf, Achilles, hamstring related injuries. This is one of the physical therapists that we work with, a place that they would insert axle as part of a recovery program there. So number 3, suspension trainer. Number 4 is a balance trainer, which means you can actually load a strength band onto the outsides of the bar if you wish to pull against band load and acceleration training, as opposed to a different, like just your traditional weightlifting. So, and I'll show you this from the side. If I come over and I stand on top of the band and I lift up, I hope you can see from the sides there that there is a band that allows me to perform lifts against that resistance. And when I say a balance trainer, it works especially well if you're doing a lift with one leg, which I can get into in a bit. But as it turns out, that's really the most efficient way for everyone to perform exercise, is to do it on one leg at a time, because we are very unilateral style creatures as human beings. Last thing is the axle is very much the sum of its parts. So when you're finished working out, you can disassemble the bar, you can take the wheels off, and you can be able to store the bar wherever you want. Now remember, the bar itself right here, just with the dowel, this is a 5-pound dowel, and the bar itself cuts in half, as you can see there. That's actually a really important feature, and I want you guys to be able to see that the bar is hollow all the way through it. on both sides. So it's a hollow aluminum barbell that goes all the way across. I'll put it back together here just for the time being. So back to the story. We got started in 2017. I'll try and cover as many of the numbers and figures as I can as we go along. 2017, we were at that studio with these prototypes. A manufacturer came who is now a very close friend and sits in the cap table with us as our manufacturing partner. And he came to the class and said, "I love this. I want to help you guys make it." He had a multi-factory system set up in China, overseas, to be able to help us bring this product to market. At the same time, Crunch Fitness, you guys know the brand. They're all around USA, especially in the East Coast, but really they're everywhere. They came to take our class, and this is a class that we designed with this product in the programming, and loved it. And they wanted to do a national rollout with us. That was early 2017. Mid 2017, we were approached by a distributor here domestically that exclusively sources domestic distribution. So, and they're called Power Systems. They said, "Hey guys, we're going to buy a bunch of this inventory. We're going to roll it nationally. You're going to do an amazing job with this, and we're going to be able to, as long as you have an exclusive with us." We said, "Hey, no problem. We're new to this. We want to know. We've heard of Power Systems before." And so we did all the trade shows. And while the course of Power Systems exclusivity ran from 2017 to 19, we also started to build out our distribution channels. And now we have 10 distributors internationally. So Latin America, Europe, we're just launching in Middle East, all across the Eastern bloc of Asia. So really took the time to build education there. We also sell education to clubs. But as it turns out, all of that doesn't end up being even our primary business, because in 2020, when our exclusivity was finished, we started doing our own direct marketing. At the same time, there was a global pandemic, and we started direct marketing to consumers, and we just did this really monumental leap. And it was a really challenging and interesting year. I should say the business is largely bootstrapped to date. So we have accepted only $152,000 worth of outside investment. It's definitely been a build from the base project. Me learning as a CEO how to be able to run a global shipping and manufacturing business, as well as a fitness education business. Now, with the pandemic, when we started to sell directly to consumers, we said we need to have this class channel be available digital. So we have a digital subscription that these folks can be able to dial into. We sell it as a subscription component along with our product. So, and it's just been a great success here for us. It was soft launched late last year. We've really started to turn up the volume on that and have some new developments that are building into that. So we're currently migrating over to a Vimeo OTT platform that is beautiful and sleek. It's the same platform that Core Power Yoga offers all of their online content and subscription with. We're really excited about that. We're about 10 days into the 90-day process of that we need to get that going, but we're really excited for what that product is to come. And when we started to talk to investors about this, we realized a couple of things. Number one, if you're going to be a manufacturing company, you need a lot of cash to be able to convert into inventory to sit on shelves. So we're interested in exploring opportunities to be able to help better manage our inventory. We sell I should say more about channels that we sell on. We sell on Walmart, Amazon, Target, Wayfair, Costco, eBay, and then also using our own platforms and our own organic searches that drive to our website. So revenues from 2019, we did $130,000 in revenue. 2020, we did $660,000. 2021 Q1, we were at $280,000, which is right along the lines of our projections that we want to be finishing around the $1.3 million mark by the end of this year. So continued steady growth. The ways that we are spending money right now is we are acquiring customers through a software called Commission Junction. We are working on a platform as well with Facebook and Instagram advertising. We have Google ads in place, and a company that we're going to be working with called GR0, which is a content creator for that. But the most recently, it was really an amazing thing that happened for us is we discovered our best return on ad spend. And even in the peak of COVID, the best return on ad spend that we saw on any of those channels was about a 4. And then started to kind of trickle back down, which is what you would expect, right? Is that it would be really efficient to market to that. So we had that 4 return on ad spend started to decrease down towards the end of the year. This is an important number for everyone to remember about our business. Sorry for the balance there. Is that 1.6 spend, or ROAS, is the spend in which we break even on our product, right? So a 4 is a very profitable place for us to be. A 1 is not. And being a largely bootstrap business to date, we need to be able to be as profitable as possible, especially when we're selling a hard good that has a long-term value of really, $200, right? If we're not selling a subscription piece with it and there's no extended long-term value, we need to make sure that purchase is profitable. And in Q1 of this year, we were able to take over our own Amazon, meaning we removed distributors from that platform. We were able to start to do our own direct marketing. We have an agency that we work with on there. And return on ad spend has just been fantastic. Really, on an average, if I told you the numbers, they wouldn't really make sense. But it's, the average ROAS on there is between an 8 and a 10. So it's incredibly profitable for us to be able to do that. And obviously, we want to be able to ramp up spend on Amazon. By the end of the year, we anticipate, even at our own pace right now, all investment in aside, to be able to get up to $200,000 in monthly revenue on Amazon alone. So that's the goal of where we're seeing things start to grow toward for Amazon. So that's for product. For our community, there's a really important thing that we have unveiled recently. And originally, when we had filed for our patent in 2016 and our trademark, we had, and it doesn't have anything to do with the trademark, but for our patent, we had thought through the concept of making a barbell that was highly technologized and smart. So when we had the concept for our smart barbell, we really included 3 key elements in the idea behind that. And I'm going to go into a little bit of medical science. One of the things I didn't say, I'm the son of 2 physicians. I'm the brother of a physician and a physician-in-law. My wife is a metabolic disease physician. My grandparents were doctors. So there's a lot of medicine in my family, and I happen to be the one person that's really interested in building the body. But as we have started to discover that these 2 things are very closely related, especially with my wife being a metabolic disease physician. So back to how does that have anything to do with the barbell? Well, this barbell has the ability to put 3 key tech components into it. Number 1, and this is some of the things that we are working on actively with our hardware and our software teams. Number 1 is for it to be a body composition scale, a bioimpedance scale. So the ability to have your axle charging overnight and then turn it on in the morning and have it run a low-grade current through you. Hands and feet to be able to understand your composition segmentally, which means left arm, right arm, torso, left leg, right leg, etc. Right? So really, and I can go through more detail in terms of what exactly that measures. It measures a lot more than you think it might be able to. It can really give you over the course of time, this technology will be able, if I enter my height and my weight, it will be able to etch a sketch really what my entire body looks like, because it understands the fat, water, muscle mass, and bone distribution across every area of my body. So that's number 1, and that's probably most important, and I'll let you know why in just a second. Number 2, we'll also have a pulse sensor to be able to track your heart rate as you go through your different movement exercises. Seems logical. Same thing as a heart rate monitor on a treadmill, right? So you see the commercial treadmills with the silver plates on them. That's what we're putting into the axle. Number 3, IMUs. So accelerometers, gyroscopes, things that will be able to detect movement through space. And really the play here is safety. Another fact to remember, and a number to remember, is that our primary demographic is females aged 25 to 55 who have not lifted weights before or are not as familiar with strength training, but they know it's important for their long-term health. They are intimidated by what a barbell or heavy weights would be. Answer: the axle is able to tell you how far you are asymmetrically through space. So if I'm doing a workout and I'm starting to squat and my left side dips down, it can vibrate and give me feedback that I need to be able to correct myself back up. Not only that, they'll give me a score at the end of my workout for repetitions and force, speed through space, asymmetries, all of those different measurements that will be able to understand where you are in space. And this is not something that exists right now on any sort of strength training apparatus. So what it'll look like is this. Like I said, there's a software and a hardware component to it. So a mobile app I can wake up in the morning, I can turn on my axle and it says, Andrew, congratulations. You made a 1% improvement in your total body composition over the last 30 days. However, you're still carrying most of your adipose tissue, your fat tissue, in your midsection, across your midsection. Here's an on-demand workout or a live coaching session that's going to be able to address that adipose tissue that you want to be able to improve for your long-term health. And here we go. And so then it gives me an on-demand workout or whatever workout it is that I need to be able to do to burn the fat efficiently, rolling. Again, this is a super dynamic tool that does really everything that an entire gym does in one piece of equipment. And afterwards, it'll give me a score. It'll say, here's your metabolic output. Here's what your heart rate was. Here's what your body composition. Well, it won't tell me that in live because really we're not going to be measuring body comp about every 7 days. But it will tell me what my movement was, repetition. How efficient was I moving through space? How was my force output? Did it decrease over the course of repetitions? Was I struggling at the end? And they give me a score of that. And what we want to do is we want to be able to monitor people's progress over time, right? Nobody really wants to have their, like, I would venture a guess that and less than 1/2 of 1% of people have ever gotten a body composition analysis, and that the data isn't there to understand how many people, but the reality is that not very many. It's expensive to get it done really well. It's also the ones that are typically handheld and everything are not very accurate. So this is something that is going to be able to track people's progress over time, just like all of the other activity trackers that are out there. And it allows you to do something about it, right? There is if you just take your body composition, you go in, you pay, you see your doctor, pay $2,500 to go get a specialized session at a DEXA. And all they do is they give you numbers and an output and they say, yeah, here's the breakdown of where you are. But then you're still stuck with the same problem, is that your body composition isn't what you want it to be. The axle will know how to improve it, and it will be able to give you workouts to be able to help guide along what that is. So that is where the product is going. So again, past, present, future. Here's where we were. Here's where we are today with our live, streaming classes, on-demand classes, our community. We also run nutrition challenges, doing sales on Amazon and Facebook, direct e-commerce, and then looking to build this future barbell. Then we've gotten the process started. It is going to be and I can go into use of funds here in a little bit in terms of the importance of it. Last thing that just popped into my brain, why is strength training important for long-term health? Why does body composition matter? Why any of this stuff? It's actually a really simple answer, and that's because your muscles are kind of think about it like a reservoir for glucose. This gets into the metabolic disease doctor conversations that we have every night at the dinner table. The more muscle you have, the more storage for sugar that you have. And in Western diets that are high in carbohydrates, the more we can store sugar, the less it gets stored as fat around really important organs. And that's what's really dangerous for us long-term health-wise. So you want to have a healthy amount of muscle mass on you at all points in time to be able to store sugar and expend it and then store it back again. So, and that's really one of the principles behind why body composition is going to be this really important metric. The studies have shown over and over again, if you're in the upper 3rd percentile of your age bracket for strength, you live 11 years longer. Okay, so upper 3rd percentile of your age bracket extends your life. And that's really the nature of why strength training is so important. That's why we're doing this. Furthermore, we want to be able to create an experience that is more affordable than some of the other connected tools in the market. The mirrors and the tonals and the things that get into the thousands and thousands of dollars. you know, this is the product where all the bundle that I showed you guys that has everything in there is on sale for $260, and you can get our live subscription to our classes for $9.99 a month. I think I covered everything there, and I'm going to pause and give questions before we go into numbers and figures.
Thank you so much, Andrew. I actually have a question because I'm controlling the button, so I get to ask mine first. So the subscription price of $9.99, is that the pre-recorded sessions? Is that a live session? What does that include?
Yeah, it actually includes both. So there's a freemium version of the app that has basic on-demand videos and access to 3 free bodyweight live classes a week. And we also have the premium version, which is access to unlimited on-demand, unlimited live classes. We use our partnership with Crunch kind of wisely in that we have a network of 300 certified instructors throughout the United States that are just really tremendously talented, Peloton level talent and personalities. And they come on to the live channel and teach and deliver an amazing class. So that's one of the things that we had going for us when we started the live app, was we had this really impressive talent base that we hadn't really taken advantage of. But when the pandemic happened, a lot of those folks were out of an opportunity to work, and so they kind of jumped on board with us.
That's fantastic. Arthur, it looks like Arthur has a question.
Yeah. So I know you might get into it, but besides the discussion of use of funds, what I'm really interested is the sale price and your sales so far. Even though you could probably produce the product cheaper at scale, you know, $600,000 is not bad for that stage company that you have. What's the per unit margin?
So unit margin on the current existing margin, again, not at the, you know, it will certainly scale down, but for the barbell itself, it's 60%, and for the bundle, it's 70%. So we sell the barbell for $199 at retail, and that's going to be a $67 cost to be able to manufacture it. The bundle is $339, and again, I'm building in some numbers for the sales and promotions that we run, but at $339, and then that's $89 or $87, excuse me, for the cost of goods on that.
So you've demonstrated through the pandemic that people want what you have, and I'm sure people are thinking about the same question that I'm about to ask, just simply because it's logical. Is if people go back to the gym, and what have you been able to determine in terms of metrics and the trend of people wanting to work at home? I mean, obviously, if they have this already, then they're in no hurry to go back.
Sure. The answer there is that we're gonna be living in a hybrid world. And you hear this in your office, people, oh, we're gonna go back 2 days a week, we're gonna go back 3 days a week, which means that, you know, more often than not, people are going to be still spending a majority of their time in the house. And what the pandemic proved is that you can actually exercise very efficiently from the comfort of your home, therefore making an even bigger opportunity for this, you know, in-home training and in-home fitness experience to be able to flourish. And especially one that we really haven't seen any strong, connected, low-cost entrance into the play yet. Again, most of these applications are either on the lower end with no equipment at all, or very much expensive, wall mounted, or occupy a fixed space in your house. This is a tool that can really go anywhere, right? It's not something that has to occupy a fixed footprint. You can take it inside and outside. It's also great for the entire family. This is a youth training tool as much as it is a training tool for adults. Given the lightweight, that it won't be compromising anyone, you know, from a developing structure or developing person. This is a really great opportunity to have, you know, family as well as, you know, the whole family work with one tool.
So what do you think? When we first spoke, I was fascinated with the weight of because there's a lot you can do with just moving around. I mean, aside from weight training, right?
Yeah.
In the context of the subscription, which is, generally a good business, right? It sounds like will you be able to retain those people that are doing the live demonstrations?
Yeah, so that's actually a great question. We've had less than a 1% churn since the inception of launching the live channel. So, and that's really encouraging to us. We have right now 1,500 users that have the mobile app and 150 subscribers based off of that. So 10%, which is a number that we obviously want to improve. Remember that we do sell a majority of our products onto Amazon, where we lose user data. And you also can't sell online subscriptions on Amazon. So it's a catch-22. We have to put a lot of infographics, QR codes, warranty information, everything that tries to get people to register their email address with us as best as they can. Once they start to sell on Amazon, this is really what we try to pull those customers back to our, into our we have a part of our tech stack is a technology called Klaviyo that manages email software. I'm sure you've heard of it. Klaviyo, one of the two. I'm not exactly sure the pronunciation. Yeah. But we use that as a management system to then make announcements about new instructors coming on board, workouts that we're doing, special events. Yeah, in this case, we started a 21-day nutrition program that is penned by my wife and designed by her. That is a very much a body transformation experience for everyone that participates. We've had wild success with it thus far. So that's an example of something that we would offer within this community. You can kind of think of it like it's similar to your boutique gym that's on the corner, except it's at scale, right? That we can have a much wider variety of individuals on this channel, working towards this healthy vision of strength and also, learning proper nutrition.
I'm curious, are the instructors in the gyms, or are they usually at home?
Both.
Yeah.
It's a hybrid world now, right? So, and certainly gyms are not at full capacity anymore. So it's, even if we wanted, due to our relationship with Crunch, we've actually explored, so we leveraged some of their space. They have a filming studio in Bowery in New York City at their Bowery location that's, in the basement that they've converted into a full filming studio. We have leveraged that asset to be able to film on-demand classes, because of a very strong partnership and of very many years. We also are, but that doesn't mean that instructors don't have something similar to what I have behind me, which is the space that you can film out of and still be able to conduct a very compelling experience for people that are users at home that are doing the same thing. If anything, the pandemic told us that we could do that and also have it be maybe a lot more convenient than going to the gym itself.
Yeah, there's no doubt there's some benefit psychically to schlepping to the gym and being compelled to do that. On the other hand, if you can just go from one floor to another or one room to another, it makes it harder to say no to a workout, right?
Exactly.
No excuses. Yeah. So Wendy, you have you want to ask
Andrew, it's a pleasure, and I apologize to anyone who's hearing things in the background. We have a pretty large storm moving over. I don't know if Andrew's in the basement.
No, we can't hear it.
Yeah. Awesome. So I want to make sure we get Andrew's slides in. So if you want to start those, Andrew.
Sure. So I'll be going ahead and presenting slides that are on financials, and this is financials and also over the reason that we're going into this raise and what we're doing for the future of this. But it's everything that I've outlined here thus far. And I'll just go ahead and share my screen here. One moment. And just to confirm that you guys can see my screen okay, is that correct? Able to see my screen here?
Yes, we can see it just fine. Thank you.
Great. So I just want to talk really quickly here first about the marketplace that we're looking at, right? The smart home fitness is the Pelotons, the Tones, the mirrors. It really prices a lot of people that are looking for an in-person or an in-home experience out of the market. It requires a dedicated space. It's expensive. It's frankly not achievable for I would say 95% of individuals across the United States and definitely globally. But there's also simple home fitness that's not as, bands and some of the smaller items that you might see people pick up there, foam rollers and whatnot. We're really this sweet spot right in the middle, right? So this $395 for then that would include a one-time annual subscription plus the bundle. It's a really fantastic value add to our demographic. And the individuals that we see that are on our live channel based on who is in the participation there. The next thing that we want to talk about here is the market size for virtual fitness, and that's obviously grown a lot, right? You can see that it was in 2019 at 6.6 billion, and it's going to reach 59 by 2027. So that's a huge jump annually between now and then, and this is just something that's going to be more and more entrance into the space, but also opportunities to have proprietary products like ours, patented products and trademark products that have a more signature experience on it, and also have been proven to have traction in the market. For the telehealth market and where we want to go with you think about Axel 2 years from now, once we've had 18 months of collecting data from a smart device, this becomes an entirely different opportunity where we are able to then make an enterprise play to different organizations and say, hey, this is something where we see a major opportunity to improve the health of your employees or of your organization. And this is that telehealth play that really sees the value in having a composition scale in the hands of regular users. It's going to be a really important thing for us to be able to use that data in a productive and very profitable way. Here was just tracking back from the beginning of the pandemic, product sales, consumer revenue per month. Saw some fluctuations around the election time when ad spend was a very challenging thing. But we had a really fantastic year last year, and into the beginning of this year as well. So we continue to trend. Like I said, we're on track to hit our projections and those projections can be, I'll show it here in just a moment. For unit economics, just to review, I would say if there's been a biggest challenge for us, it's been shipping and fulfillment. We have onboarded a software called ShipBob, which is a digital platform that enables us to connect our e-commerce and our Amazon directly to it. So it's a warehouse where it's relatively hands-off, yet still it always is an area of work for us. And when you're moving products and you're moving hard goods, it ends up being something that is, definitely a challenge. So just so we know, this is where we get those numbers for the 70% margin on the bundle versus the barbell, which is a little bit lower, around 60. But these other items that we manufacture and we sell are very, very much a profitable way for us to move product. And we also have, when we're looking at customer long-term value, there's another 10 products that we can add that would get bundle packages north of $1,000 to be able to do that. So there's obviously there's an interesting way to continue to increase our profitability through that. So myself, you guys know about me at this point in time. My co-founder is Anuj Patel, MBA from Duke University, and has extensive experience in the digital health space. Henry Fajardo is our manufacturing partner. He is based out of Hong Kong and has just been tremendous to date. Bill Colbert here on the right joined us last it was February of last year. Has been just really transcendent in the digital space for performance marketing. Never met anyone that has known as much about the space as him. So it's been a really nice addition to the team. Dawn Cyrus has helped us throughout the process. She's really been someone who is, she was called the Queen of Crunch for many years, worked with Madonna to help her health clubs come to play. and has just been a strategic advisor for us all along. Like I said, we're right on track here. Here are our quarterly projections to finish the year out around 1.2 million. Big changes here are going to be spending on Amazon towards the end of the year. That's where our most profitable element is. And here's the ask of what we want to do. So we're looking for 1.5 million in a growth investment. We have so we're looking for a lead investor right now to come in. It would be under a safe agreement, which I would have a 20% discount for the Series A or Series C valuation that we anticipate towards the end of this year, early next year, when we have our working prototype for our smart barbell. We have a current enterprise value of 12.8 million. And the growth would go toward the use of funds would go toward inventory, as I mentioned previously, marketing and growth content, which is always an area that we would want to be spending on to be able to drive revenues, which we've been proven to be able to do quite well. And then 500K for this product development. So this would go directly toward the implementation and bringing the smart barbell so that it is product and market ready. There was one more thing I was going to mention here, but it's we're really excited to see this super growth that we've experienced thus far. We also are, in order to, so growing our community base is another really, we recognize it as a way of increasing our customer and long-term value. And we want to be able to grow that user base in a big time way. And so one of the things that we have done, and this was back in February, we were unanimously approved by the board of Republic, which is a crowdfunding platform, to come onto their platform. And so we are getting ready to launch that. We are finishing up some service agreements with certain influencers that I have come across along my path. And the goal for Republic is, investment aside, we're really looking to grow our community. And on average, there's an average of 700 users that participate in each one of the Republic platform offerings thus far. So we see that, in addition to our current user base, as this really interesting army that can come with us to be able to test products, to be able to advocate. The best growth comes from word of mouth, and if we can start getting 1,000 to 3,000 people on this platform talking about Axle, training with us online, that's really the area where we see the biggest opportunity for growth. So we're looking forward to that. That Republic launch will happen here and anywhere within the next 7 to 14 business days. So I'll stop my screen share there and hand it back over to Wendy.
Thank you so much, Andrew. I have a question. You said that there are ways to keep increasing the bundle, to keep increasing the price to make it profitable. Right. So what are some of those ways? I assume the weights, right? They would buy them directly from you, or?
Right. So we actually wouldn't work with weight plates right this second, because we actually have realized that it's easier to resell them from our distribution partners and less expensive for us to warehouse them that way. So we let them do, and we have those really extensive those experiences there. So we let them do the work, and we just sell it direct on our website through there. But that's one way which we have experimented in increasing, and that's been very, very profitable for us to do that. However, we also have a proprietary weight bench design in place that is a collapsible weight bench, so it would be an additional item. And then some of the smaller, softer goods that would be that are inexpensive to make but have a pretty steep margin on them, like a knee pad, an exercise mat, the massage ball. These are things that you can, $50, $60, $100 items that can go inside the existing bundle kit that can, they're very high margin and very low cost to us. So there's a multitude of different components that are, smaller, on the smaller, lighter side, that don't really increase shipping costs as well. that we can be able to include in the bundle.
Fantastic. We have a question from the audience. Are you working with any NBA players as sponsors or users?
Yeah, great question. We have quite a few. So I have quite a few NBA friends, as you might imagine. And ones that we are working with are actually not just from the NBA, but also from the WNBA. So our biggest influencer that is we are working to bring on board is a WNBA MVP and champion of multiple times over, and is probably really the face of the league that's there. We also have another NBA champion who I think is going to be a champion this year, or I hope is going to be a champion this year. That is another really great story. We also have an NFL Super Bowl winner that is on board with us as an ambassador, and an Academy Award winning actress. So just people that are tremendous performers and have these really marquee careers that can be really good faces, for our organization, especially given in mind that our demographic is so heavily skewed female, age 25 to 55. It's about 80% of our users.
Fantastic. So would you have any comments to kind of wrap it up? A last comment that you can share with everybody?
Yeah, I think it just goes back to the fact that we know that there is a need for affordable connected strength training. That is number one. And number two is that there is a really strong connection, and we will know in the future the importance of body composition as it is a predictor of health. And it will be something that is much more clearly monitored over the course of time. And that pretty much is what it comes down to. We're trying to execute on both of those fronts to be able to bring a really powerful new tool to the market, and also continue with our core business.
And Andrew, although I'm sure you'll be able to, through Arthur, send out to everybody, if somebody wanted to get hold of you sooner, how can they do that? What's the easiest way to do that?
Yeah, easiest way would be emailing me, Andrew at axleworkout.com. I can actually list my email and phone number here in the chat box if somebody wants to call. So, and then I'm not shy about picking up the phone. And if I don't happen to answer, a text message works as well. So, any immediate access. Appreciate that. We'd love to have the conversations. We have a lot of momentum going forward right now, and we're excited for what's going to be happening with our influencers as we start to roll them out.
Fantastic. Arthur?
Super cool. I have one question before we wrap up, and I know we don't want to keep people, but I was thinking when you were going through the financials that do you expect the recurring revenue or the subscription for the live thing to grow? And if so, what do you look at that? Because subscription multiple is a good multiple.
Yeah, exactly. And it's the biggest area we've never done formal marketing for it thus far, meaning we have never spent into the digital realm to acquire customers for our subscription service. It is top priority once we, as a startup, as a small company, checking through boxes and getting things ready. This is our number one for helping people understand the app experience, but it really is tied to that Vimeo OTT, which is that really sleek new platform that we will be launching in 80 days. That's going to have, it's a premier experience for people. And the experience that we launched during COVID is more of it leverages existing technology, but it's not we can do better, and we're excited to do better. And so we will be showcasing that, we will be featuring that, and then we will be marketing that experience to talk about the kinds of things that you can do with us and our really incredible experienced trainers on our live channel.
Yeah, my sense is there was going to be uptake with that. So I will thank you and thank everybody for being here, but I'll let Wendy wrap it up, and I'll follow up with the other stuff that I mentioned, Andrew.
Great.
Andrew, thank you so much for sharing and answering our questions and the demonstration. That was fantastic. And thank you for posting your phone number and email for those of you who didn't see it in the chat box. It's right there. And I'm going to wish you a good afternoon.
Thank you, guys. Thanks so much.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.